Megan Edwards with MiningIR, and we are at the last day of the mining investment event. I am here with Chris Donaldson, who is the CEO of Valkea Resources, a company focused on advancing the next generation of gold discoveries in Finland's central Lapland greenstone belt. So thank you so much for talking to me.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Chris, can you start by telling us a little bit about your background and what led you to Valkea Resources?
Yeah, so I've been in the gold exploration space for quite some time. My previous role was with a company called Western Copper and Gold. I ran corporate development for them and for a number of years and helped bring in Rio Tinto for their project, and then got the opportunity to start running my own company. And we actually just founded or created Valkea last September. So it's a relatively new company, and we were able to acquire a basket of gold exploration projects that we own 100% in Finland, in the central Lapland, as you talked about. And it also came with 2 joint ventures. So one with Rupert Resources, where they're earning in on 2 additional properties up to 70%. And then we had some legacy gold exploration assets in Victoria, Australia, where a company called S2 is earning in up to 80%.
So Valkea is focused on Finland's central Lapland greenstone belt, like I said before, which is emerging as a world-class gold jurisdiction. Can you walk us through your strategy and what drew the company to this particular region?
Yeah, called the CLGB, and it's a mouthful there. But
yeah.
So our main project is one called Pana, and it's got a discovery on it, a very good discovery, 7 years at 12 grams and 20 years at 4 grams. We've just finished a program in March and kind of proved that out, found a new zone of exciting grades as well. And that's going to be our focus to, going forward, is really to move that out, move that forward. Why we were attracted to the area, 2 things. One, these greenstone belts around the world tend to house many multi-million ounce deposits. This particular one in Finland is relatively underexplored. Really only had been explored for the last 35, 40 years. And you often hear people say this is like the Abitibi 100 years ago. So it's underexplored, but has the potential to find more deposits. And we are right adjacent to a mine called the Kittilä mine. Kittilä is owned by Agnico Eagle. It's Europe's largest gold mine. It's 14 kilometers from where we're at. So it's not just them. We've got Kinross Gold adjacent to us as well, B2 Gold just south of us. And then one of the most exciting kind of development and exploration stories over the last 5-10 years has been Rupert Resources, and they made a discovery and now have a 4 million ounce resource as well, and they're about 60 kilometers. So it's an unusual situation where you have that concentration of majors and few juniors, and very unusual that for us to be in the position where we have a dominant land position that's not controlled by any of the majors at this point.
Right. And your flagship Pana project is contiguous to Agnico Eagle's Kittilä mine and shows promising high-grade targets. What are some of the key geological features or early findings that gave you confidence in the project?
Yeah, so there was a discovery on it when we acquired the properties, and so that was a leg up. We know we're in a system. There hasn't been a lot of drilling done on it, but everything that we have drilled to any kind of depth has hit mineralization. So that's what attracted to us. We proved that out in our last campaign. The goal of that was to kind of reconfirm some of the historical results and also get a better handle on the geological model. So while we were drilling, we also relogged a bunch of the core and have a much better understanding of how things are modeled there. And that is only going to help us for this next campaign where we've got some key targets that we need to follow up on.
Right. What stage is the Pana project currently at, and what are the next steps in your exploration program?
Yeah, I mean, we're exploration stage for sure. Our goal over the next program or 2 will be to determine whether we have another Ikkari or another Kittilä. All indications are that we have the potential to be that. So we hope to be able to get better visibility on, do we have 1 million plus ounces there, and so that's our goals in the project.
So Finland's often cited for its infrastructure, permitting clarity, and year-round access. How do these advantages impact your operational timeline and cost efficiency?
Yeah, in terms of timelines, I mean, first of all, we really like Finland. I just did my first program there and it went off without a hitch. Permitting is straightforward. We had an exploration license on our the area we wanted to explore on. We gave notice, and we're drilling 2 weeks later. We're quite far north. We're above the Arctic Circle, so it's remote. The area is actually actively logged, so you have roads right up to site. So access is great. There's 5G on the site. It's flat. It's cold. It can be dark. But you can drill virtually all year round. In fact, most of the drilling happens in the winter, with the exception of when the reindeer come through and it gets.
Of course, the reindeer.
Yeah, the reindeer herders come through for about 2-3 weeks every year.
Oh, wow.
And then it can get a bit swampy during breakup. But so it's a great place. So it's remote, but it's not so remote that you have to have a remote camp. People go home at night, and it's not helicopter supported. So that helps with costs for sure. And in terms of timelines, it's been good. In terms of future permitting timelines, and in terms of building and permitting and so on, they've got a very sound system that it's not short, but it's defined, and so at least you have some certainty as to when you might get those permits or be able to enter construction.
So with majors like Agnico Eagle, Kinross, and B2 Gold operating in the region, and Rupert Resources' recent discovery, how does Valkea plan to leverage proximity and potential strategic partnerships?
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the reasons we wanted to be in the area. I mean, one of the biggest challenge for juniors is how do you finance going forward? And one way to do that is to get an endorsement or a toehold from a major or a strategic, and having multiple companies that would fit that bill already sold on the area and working nearby is a huge advantage. So we'll look to explore that as time goes on. And then ultimately, quite often companies get bought out. So if you're able to prove up a resource, and at that time, somebody might come in and purchase the project outright. We're ways from that, but it's good to know there's options for the same reasons I said before.
So what should investors be watching for from Valkea Resources in the next 6 to 12 months?
6 to 12 months. Well, we just launched the financing yesterday, and it's going very well. So once we get that closed, we plan to hit the ground this summer and really go after those high-grade targets that we had before. That'll be the main thrust of what we're doing, and also a little bit of target generations for the future program there. So yeah, we'll be drilling this summer, and should be pretty exciting.
Good. If anybody wants to get in touch with you, how do they do that?
Yeah, you can go off our website, valkea.ca, or you can email me directly, chris@valkea.ca.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Okay, you're welcome.